Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today we just have a nice little channel update. I know as we get ready to get the videos and everything back to normal, I just want to give a little market update, what's going on around in the CCG world. So in this video, we're going to have just a short conversation. We're going to kind of touch on Magic, Pokemon going into the Lorcana hype, fizzle? Is it leveled out? The Star Wars Unlimited phenomenon. Obviously, the continuously surprising results of sorcery. And of course, the infamous new Flesh and Blood part, the Misil, that everyone's been yapping about that. So let's go into it. So first, let's start with Magic the Gathering, everybody. Not a lot to really report drama-wise, okay? So I guess you could just call me Positive Penelope here to tell you Magic's most recent set, old Thunder Junction, Outlaws, the Western, Back to the Future 3, DeLorean. Thunder Junction has done incredibly well. It's done a lot better than I expected it to. I thought it would be a lot more calm. A lot of the patrons have been actually asking me to run a second sale and to actually do a run for play boxes and collector boxes because a lot of people, well, they waited. They didn't want to buy it released because they were afraid of another collapse like Scarlet Violet. And, well, I mean, can't really fault people for that. So, that's been interesting. So moving forward, just to get everybody an idea, I am working on a permanent solution for play boxes for Magic moving forward. We're trying to set something up where in the future, maybe like all play boxes for all releases flat out are like 109 or maybe 114 or something shipped. That's what we're trying to work on. I haven't been able to lock in the volumes and some sort of contract or agreement yet. We've been going back and forth. It was 119 and I said, well, 110, and they said, no way. It's been a back and forth thing, so I haven't been able to get a confirmation number. It is in the works, so I know everybody has been blowing me up message-wise, so be aware. So moving forward, I am going to try to get, so Carl of Manor play, because, Ixalan was the last draft box. So Carl of Manor play, Thunder Junction play, Bloomberg Terminal, Wall Street, Bloomborough. We're trying to get all these play boxes for some sort of 109, 114, 118, 116. We're trying to work on something. We haven't been able to because sometimes I can get the price lower, but it's only for a small amount, but then the rest is a higher amount. Does that make sense? So it's like, okay, we'll give you a special deal if you buy at least one pallet every month, and you can sell to your patrons for 109 shipped for a play box. But we'll only do that for the first 200 boxes, and after that, your cost is going to be 120, and so it's been very complicated behind the scenes, everybody. Besides that, I mean, the Ixalan, $89 ship patron Ixalan box has been very difficult for me to control. I mean, it's been over 1,000 orders of patrons. Just, I'm not sure. I can't say I'm not sure. What's interesting is I didn't expect the demand, even limit one per patron per month. I didn't expect people to be buying one Ixalan draft for 89 and then, getting a bunch of other ones as a variety. I knew people would do it, but I didn't think it would be the volume because I thought, at least the Rudy brain, I would assume people would want to focus on the older draft boxes that are getting old and falling out and kind of just starting to dry up on the market, But the Ixalan Lost Caverns continues to be absolutely unbelievable success that nobody saw coming, including myself, and that's been a very fascinating thing. Obviously, we have Modern Horizons 3 coming up now in 45 days. I know Modern Horizons 3 is after the big Flesh and Blood part of the Misil launch, and I've already told you guys before, it is an extremely expensive product. I am bullish on it, but be aware, it is very, very expensive. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Wizard says if you want these pretty much fetch lands, and you want these Eldrazi's, and you want textured for your pleasure, and you want to be Positive Penelope and serialized cards or whatever, you're going to pay for it. So that's the biggest negative aspect of modern MH3 coming up there. MH3 and probably the old Bloomy Bee, 2Bs, are probably going to be very successful products for Wizards and Hasbro. I'd be surprised if they're not. There continues to be a very strong run on draft boxes from 2020 through 2023. I don't see that ending anytime soon, but we are already seeing the repricing of a lot of these boxes in the secondary market between 1 and 110. Some are now pushing 120, 125 with tax and shipping on the secondary market. Looking at Kamigawa, Jumpstart, Phyrexia. I believe most likely the next one is going to be a Boulder's Gate, and then probably Jumpstart, maybe Wilds of Eldraine, And I think once all these draft boxes, and I know, laugh all you want, including Streets, including Infinity, including Barry Manilow, including Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, when all these draft boxes are 1 to 120, that means the market's finally moved on and accepted that play boxes in the 120s is the correct price point, and I think play boxes are really going to take off. But right now, I mean, honestly, do you want to go on TCG Player and pay $152 with tax and shipping for an Outlaw play box when you can buy, draft boxes for $89 kind of thing? You see what I'm saying? It's just the price difference is such a large discrepancy, but once the lower ones get pulled up and everything's more in line, I think everyone's attitude is going to continue to shift there. Collector boxes, not much to say. Looking at the data here, Thunder Junction, 210, 230 with tax and shipping. Fallout, don't even want to talk about it. Is it over 600 yet? Karlov Manor, stabilized 150s before tax, so 170 ship. Hasn't really dropped or gone up anymore. Ravnica Remastered, almost 300 collector box ship. Obviously, Ixalan, almost 400 shipped now with tax and shipping. Wildsville Drain, that's been an interesting one. I didn't think Wildsville Drain was going to reprice as quick as it did for collector boxes, because those were like 180s to 200 for the longest time, and the collector boxes did have a nice 10-20% jump. So now they're like 220s to 240 shipped. So that was an interesting one. And of course, Lord of the Rings, original, and all that stuff. We already know about that. So we know what's coming. Magic's still doing it. Besides Karlov Manor, Magic's been doing phenomenal. Well, except the old Magic continues to be very stumbly, and it's continuing to be very flat to weak. Yes, people have mentioned to me about this. Rudy, did you see the $3 million Black Lotus thing? Rudy, do you think it's real? What do you think's going on? I have no idea if it's real. Based on some contacts from DA Card World and some other contacts of people and screenshots, it feels real. But because the individual collects extreme pristine 10 graded cards. Now, why you would pay that for a CGC 10 kind of thing, I'm not really sure. It feels a little weird to me, so I don't know the details. I do want to add, just keep in mind, folks, a lot of things like that in history, there's been some loosey-goosey fairy dust kind of manipulation that can be done. I'm not saying there's anything with this particular example, but in the past, let me give you an idea. Party A and Party B. We need to have this item show a value of $100,000 on the secondary market. Well, sometimes people will literally put it on eBay, and they'll make an agreement to buy it and complete the sale. Maybe later they cancel the sale. Or after they do the sale, maybe they turn around and do what they call a post-transaction refund adjustment. Or maybe there's other things like, hey, Party A says, you buy this card for $100,000, perfect 10. After the deal, I'll send you a box of Legends for $30,000-$40,000. So technically you're only paying $50,000-$60,000 for the card. There's a lot of kind of moves on a chessboard that you can do to kind of make some of these transactions a little bit more, fluffed up. Like, you can fluff things. You know what a fluffer is? This is a PG channel. Okay, I don't want to go into that. I don't want you to Google that either. It's inappropriate. You can fluff things up. A fluffer is something that makes things go up and stays up. Giggity. So it's kind of one of those situations where just use caution. A lot of times companies just want to use that as a big selling, a big splash thing, and that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. That's all I have to say on the Lotus thing. I'm not going to make separate videos on it. I don't think it matters. That's all. So before we move on to Pokemon in Flesh and Blood, I continue to be disappointed and saddened, is that the right word? On the lack of excitement and movement on reserved lists and old Magic. It's still simply just money is not large whale money is just not attracted to old Magic still. There's nibbles. There's little boop, 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 boop. There are nibbles. There are patrons that tell me, look, I got Rudy, look at this. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. There's still people buying. It's not a dead market going to zero. It's not like that. But overall, there is no emotional euphoria. There's no hype. There is no strong market push into any vintage Magic products, whether it's singles or sealed vintage boxes. Rudy loves his sealed Mirage and sealed Urzas and sealed Revise and sealed Legends and sealed Arabian and sealed... it just remains a very flat... I'm not going to call it a bear market because it's not making new lows, but it is a very flat, non-attractive asset class in 2024. And unfortunately, as much as I'd love to pump that to you all, it's just the data doesn't support it right now. Now, I'm hoping that does change, maybe by the end of the year, maybe within another year. I hope it's not 10, 20 years or a multi-decade just kind of out of favor asset class, but that is where it is. So that's what's going on. There's nothing to report otherwise. If you want to sell your collection, you can contact me. If you don't and you want to wait, there's a chance, I hope eventually it does have another bull market, which I think it will. It's just a matter of how long, but that's just where the market is. Now, exciting stuff. Let's jump to Pokemon. So, obviously I made a video last week regarding the infamous skyrocket of Lost Origins. Obviously, you all know I am one of the largest positions, or the largest individuals of sealed product of Sword and Shield era, probably in the world, is me. I am known for the last 2 years of pumping Rudy heavy bag, Sword and Shield, all this stuff, dump it in the highs of the Logan Paul boom. Obviously, you all know I have tremendous positions in Sword and Shield stuff, and I really have no major plans to make any moves right now. I do still have patrons, probably at least once every couple days, to say, I had one last night. A patron like, Rudy, I want to buy a case of Lost Origins from you. I'll pay the TCG player price. I just, double box it, signature confirmation. Just give me a case, make it nice and pretty. Done. So I do still sell by request, but on those old things like that, there's no Rudy discounts or pricing. I literally just match the market price. You get a nice, pretty sealed case. I make sure you're taken care of, and that's it. I don't expect that to change anytime soon. I'll probably just continue to slowly sell a random case of Evolving Skies to a patron, random case of Chilling Reign. I'd say probably right now, maybe selling maybe 3 cases, 4 cases a week of Sword and Shield era to different patrons, a Chilling Reign, and I guess coming up next, Brilliant Stars is the next skyrocketing, which I will make a video on pretty soon. And then pretty much after Brilliant Star skyrockets, the next on the chopping block is obviously going to be Battle Styles, and of course, everybody's waiting for Silver Tempest, of which you all know, once again, my goal of all Sword and Shield era was at least 1,000 sealed boxes of every set. Now, obviously, sets like, Silver Tempest and, Chilling Reign, I have between 2,000 and 3,000 each. It's just something I've been very vocal about for many years, and yelling at the camera, even in the bear market of 2022 and 2023. And even when people are freaking out because Lost Origins Silver Tempest were reprinted, and there is a video on this channel, actually says Alpha Investments at Last Chance Pokemon, because when they did that small reprint, which was like 8% of the original print run size, I told everyone, when Lost Origins went from 140 back to like 100, that was the time to do that dip and get your positions if you missed out. And of course, everybody just LOL, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so Lost Origins, all these things, to jump over to Scarlet Violet era, again, just channel update video. To jump over to Scarlet Violet era, we do have the new Pokemon set coming out here. I believe the print run information feels the same as the previous Pokemon set. So Masquerade feels the same as Temporal kind of thing. And I believe I'm getting my normal instead. I think Temporal I did get cut a little bit. Because big stores got cut, but small stores got their full amount, which I thought was actually a respectful, correct thing to do. If I want 3,000 boxes, I don't think a store requesting 20 boxes should get cut 50% to 10 boxes, and my 3,000 should get cut 50% to 1,500. I don't think it should be an even percentage cut. If a small store wants 20, they should get the full 20. If a basement dwelling manipulator like Rudy wants 3,000, he should be cut to 2,000 or 1,500. But the small stores who just want 24, 4 cases, they should still be allocated their full amount if it's below like 60 boxes. That's always been my attitude to the supply chain kind of thing. And Pokemon and some distributors with Pokemon are pretty good about that compared to Magic and some other things. So moving forward, I still am incredibly impressed with Scarlet Violet's stability. It is far more stable than Sword and Shield. And I know Sword and Shield's better. It's the ultimate GOAT of Pokemon Modern. I know, we all know. And it feels so much more correctly printed and done than even XY era. Sun and Moon era, which is a dry era, which is now worth a ton, but people didn't buy much of it. I remember that was when I stopped carrying Pokemon in the Sun and Moon because I couldn't even sell it to my patrons for $79 a box. Sun and Moon base, Guardians Rising, Burning Shadows, all this shit. The patrons just literally rejected it, whatever. So This particular era is incredibly stable. To see all the Scarlet Violet sets on, before tax, between like 90 and 115 a box. And then you got tax, so what, 100 to 125? It's a beautiful, stable range. No major crashes. Rudy, I'm not buying Scarlet Violet until it goes to 50. You're going to get the Timmy dumbasses. Those are important people to just kind of, work the drive-through for, Chick-fil-A. But overall, I don't think we see any major swings. And I hope the overall market and people who are putting time into learning this industry are aware of that, because that means Pokemon's doing a very good job. Now, moving to the next thing. I've been getting, obviously, since Sorcery's passed, the next big thing here we're going to be talking about this month is the big Rudy reveal with part of the infamous, the Misil. So the first Flesh and Blood, Japanese kind of theme. We have anime Marvels. And yes, the only thing I'll give you a hint, the only thing I'm going to give you a hint is the exclusive Rudy promo is the box art. So James and LSS were awesome enough to give me the box art promo for the card. That's the only thing I'm going to give you. Yes, we are slabbing the full print run. And yes, most of the, and actually, I skimmed through, we already had the promo. I skimmed through the quality, and the quality from LSS James on this print run, this promo, has been incredibly, it's phenomenally printed. I predict most of these cards, if not all of them, are either going to be 9s, 9.5s, or 10s. They are, it's just the centering, I skimmed through them. The centerings, the corners, I looked at the back, the back of Fab cards, especially the WTR Art Crew era. Corners are known for like these little corner white flecks or kind of chips and dings. These look really good. I have to admit, I'd be surprised if we even get a lot of 9s at all. It looks like to me, all the centerings looks like we're going to be within tolerance of 9, 5s, and 10s. And of course, I'm not really seeing any major cornering damage. I see a little bit of surface scratches from when the printers and the sheets were on the rollers. So we see some surfaces and probably around the 8, 5s, or 9s. But overall, the edges and corners are all looking like 9s and 10s, and centering is the same. So it looks like it's going to be a beautiful batch, everybody. Since this is not a piece of gear or equipment, these particular Flesh and Blood promo will be in a standard PCG slab, not a player slab. Which, now that we're finally catching up, we've got new people on the payroll at PCG. We are expanded, and we're getting the customer turnaround times. Everything's getting better and smoother, and everybody's getting better at their job and more efficient and in line. You will start to see more marketing, and I can finally do some advertising and show you guys the player slabs and everything, which has been a huge, I think over 50% of cards submitted now to PCG is player slabs now. And the kicker is, I thought it'd be mostly Flesh and Blood cards for player slabs, but dude, the last 30 days, like a lot of the cards for player slabs are Star Wars Unlimited. Yeah, no joke. And even Magic Commander. And what was the other one? We even had some One Piece that were asking for player slabs, which was interesting because I thought those would go in your deck. It's kind of weird. Anyway, so that's been quite interesting. So I'll start doing some reveals and stuff like that with part of the Misil and everything. And hopefully you guys really like it, because I think the direction with Marvel's really beautiful, wild, unique anime art, I think it's a good direction. People seem way, way more excited about this set than I've seen. And I know, honestly, even more than heavy hitters and way more than bright lights. So I think that's a very positive thing, everybody. Moving to the next thing I wanted to go over, One Piece. The demand and craziness for One Piece is still absolutely insane. And I know, like, as I film this video, the day before I filmed this video, I ran a sale for like 1,000 boxes of the new One Piece Extra little memorial booster boxes. And I was like, I finally was able to get a larger supply. I was finally able to pull from multiple sources, multiple LGSs, multiple distributors to get this quantity. And I said, okay, let's see if offering a One Piece set to patrons, literally down to just 2 boxes for each one small order, all the way to a half a case of 6 boxes, to a full sealed master case of One Piece, to see what the demand would be. So within the first 30 minutes, okay, I would say about 700 of the 1,000 boxes were sold. Unfucking believable, okay? And again, I know you all love One Piece, this and that, but I'm going to tell you right now, I encourage you all to be cautious, especially, like, I don't know what's going to happen to the price after release. Every other One Piece that I've sold after release, it just goes even higher in price, and everyone's like, woo, free tendies. Like, the risk reward to me, right now, looking at, like, One Piece, compared to, like, Flesh and Blood with, like, Misil, like, personally, if you had to pick between the two, the price point of Misil, or let's just call it part, or what set is it? 12? Like the risk reward trade off is way more attractive for Magic, for Pokemon, or for Flesh and Blood. This insanity for One Piece is just mind numbing. And I know people are excited. I know a lot of y'all open them, the patrons who buy from me, because I've seen it. You guys open, I mean, literally, I see orders coming into PCG of literally just 20, 30, 50, 100 cards, all One Piece to be slapped. All sets. I see everything from the beginning Romance all the way to Newer Awakening, and I mean, it's unbelievable. And now, the Star Wars thing, the Star Wars Unlimited is another thing. We got booster boxes pushing $250 on TCG Player plus tax. So almost $280, pushing almost $300. Again, it started off quiet. People love the set. Star Wars has been going crazy. I've been getting tons of questions. People, will you please carry Star Wars, Rudy? Please. I had no plans to originally do it, but I'm literally to the point where I'm getting 10 to 20 patron messages a day just asking to just, Rudy, sell Star Wars. I don't care if it's $250 on TCG Player. Even if you just take 20, 30 bucks off, sell it to me for $229 shipped. You know, I didn't have any original plans to carry Star Wars. Okay? My concern remains that they stated they are doing, I guess, whatever printing is needed to keep reprinting Star Wars Unlimited for the market. And it makes me very, very nervous in 2024 to request 1,000 boxes, sell it to Patreon, even if I sold it to Patreon for $199, 50 bucks off a box, and you bought a case and got $1,000 off a case. You know, the risk of price swings and volatility, it's like One Piece. The volatility of the price swings is very high. So this thing could go to $500 a box, or it could go back to $129 a box. That's the risk. It just makes me nervous because if the prices skyrocket, everybody just wants to flip and free tendies. If the prices tank, everybody gets angry or returns, or it's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of then patrons become angry and turnover. There's volatility on the more variance there is on pricing. Hence, why I'm telling you all, honestly, Magic, Pokemon, and Flesh and Blood are the places right now that, based on risk-reward, they look a lot better. I would bring up Sorcery, but again, there's, Sorcery, we don't have a release. There's nothing going on till essentially the end of the year, which is the first expansion of Sorcery. There's nothing, which I guess I'll get to the next thing here. So again, Sorcery, for those of you asking me, and I guess if you're a patron, you can send me a private message. I think I have 4 or 5 Sorcery beta kits left. I think that's what I have left. If you want to send me a message, you're interested, you can have 1 to 5 left. If you're actually watching this late in the video, the price is Rudy ripoff price of like $899. This is going to be the price. And I've got, I think, 5. I may have 6. I did get 2 back from return to sender, but I'm not counting those in the 5 or 6 I got back. And I do see in the shipping software, there's like 5 more return to sender possibilities. So I may end up with 10 back, but I'm around 5 or 6 right now. If you're interested, you can send me a private message on Patreon, whatever. If not, I'm going to keep them. And actually, I'd like to go back and do a couple. I may open one of my Alpha Sorcery cases and do some box openings. I haven't checked the price of Alpha Sorcery. It might be pushing like $2,000 a box. It's pretty scary. Okay, that's about it. I just want to go over everything right now. Last comment. Oh, let me comment real quick on Disney Lorcana. Lorcana's leveled out quite a bit. Okay. Not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing. The recent sets, and now with the new set 4 coming out, but like set 3 and 4, the extreme hype and flipping in the tendies thing is leveled off. And like, even Into the Inkling, third set, whatever third set is, it's like, one of the major distributors sells them for like $99 a box, and they're on TCG Player for like $115 as this filming. So after shipping and fees, you break even. The market has calmed and leveled out. And I've even been offered to buy some Lorcana at the $100 a box kind of price thing. And I'm just like, it's still something I'm not a super big fan of. It's just a personal choice. I'm a huge, honestly, Disney, my favorite thing is Aladdin, Princess Jasmine. That was my thing as a kid. I thought Princess Jasmine was the hottest, coolest thing ever. But besides that, I'm just not an obsessive. Now, my family, my little one, they love Disney stuff and everything. But as far as a card game goes, I mean, my go-to thing is still Magic. And it's going to be Magic, Flesh and Blood, and Sorcery. Those are the things I have more of a caring and passion with. Pokemon, I know it's huge. I know, Rudy, all the attendees and Sword and Shield, you've made a fortune. Probably $1 to $2 million on Sword and Shield. But it's just, I don't have a passion for it. It's strictly a business. I don't like the game of Pokemon. I don't think it's that good. It just feels, I'm just not a fan of it compared to a sorcery or fab, or obviously magic. It's just not for me. Pokemon is strictly a business thing, okay? As far as gameplay and things I have more of a passion with, obviously, the magic, fab, and sorcery is kind of my favorite thing. Obviously, actually, I like Weiss, but I don't have a major passion for it. I just love the chase cards in Weiss, as everybody does. So that's all I have to say. So final comments, everybody. CCG World continues to look pretty nice. As we go into the 5th... Oh, you're probably watching this on May 1st then. The market's tremendously strong. Magic has been unbelievably outperforming in 2024. Pokemon, obviously, Sword and Shield era is just stupidly expensive. And I'll tell you all again, every box from Sword and Shield era will be over $500 a box. Make fun of me. I'm just going to mention it again. Moving forward again, Sorcery, I thought the actual box prices of beta and everything would actually drop a lot more in price. And, you know, I'm pretty shocked that, you know, injecting, you know, doing 6,000 boxes of Sorcery into the market and to not see that many people dumping the boxes or flipping has been really surprising of how many patrons actually been opening and playing the game. So that's been quite fascinating. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for supporting everything. So should be a fun 45 days. I am very excited to start doing the promo videos for Flesh and Blood next. And then, of course, we'll be doing Modern Horizons discussions. And I haven't heard much about the Pokemon set this month. I'm not sure. Probably about the same as Temporal. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a beautiful day.